if I were in the federal government and I wanted to address, and I was able to address, which I would, because I would just dictatorially do whatever I wanted. I would with the support of Western kind and my own police force that we would put into effect, which would have authority over all of the other police forces. What I would do is I would put up big, beautiful signs, very different than Trump. I would put up big, beautiful signs, great big billboard signs all the way across the border. And those signs would, in every language and in no language, pictorially, communicate to those coming to the border that the land beyond is filled with landmines. Do not attempt to cross, you will die. Big, beautiful signs. Big, so the sun will gleam and light them up, and then I will have them lit at night, and the cost will be this much for the United States. Not even a fraction of what it would cost to build a wall that Trump was talking about and never got built. Not even a fraction. All of these, all of the guard that is on the border now has just been reduced to nothing but receivers of these peoples coming across, and then they just pass them on. These new Democrat voters, they just, nearly every one of them, just pass them on so that the Democrats can continue to stack the deck across. It's obvious. We all know that's what they're doing. We all can look at the poll. And what do you have here? You have the Republicans and Fox News and Con Inc. all conspiring. Colluding is the proper word for it, because to collude is to pretend that you are in opposition to someone and you are instead undermining a third body of people or a third person. You instead are tricking them some way with the appearance that you are at odds with the other person, the other entity or entities in the formula. So the Fox News, the conservatives, and the rest, they are busily telling you that these people coming in, look at now they're voting Republican. So don't get nervous about this. What do you think about the Republican Party now? They've been telling you this for your whole life, your parents' whole lives, your grandparents' whole lives. They've been telling the same thing. These Central South Americans, they are conservative by nature. They are, and they're not. They're not. I don't know how they continue to push this talk about a big lie. This idea that Central and South Americans are conservative by nature. In what way? They don't vote. Overwhelmingly, they vote Democrat. So that's overwhelmingly they vote Democrat. They only vote in variation from that norm when there is what they perceive to be a strong man, and it's not a big variation. It's not a big deviation from their normal voting patterns. When they see a strong man, for example, like Donald Trump, they perceive him as a strong man. Then they will deviate a tiny bit from their norm, and they will also deviate when they are looking at one of their own, whom they believe will serve what they're perceived on, when they believe that that person will represent their selfish group interests better than the other group. So, like in Texas, for example, you have this female Republican, and they're more of these Central South Americans are endorsing her and putting faith in her and giving money to her than the Democrat. Why is that? Not because they want Republican policies, because if that were the case, you would see that everywhere. You would have seen that for your whole life and your parents' lives. No. What they see are two folks saying that I will do more for our community than my competitor. And they're saying, we believe that this person will do more for our community than that person. Is that what you want for America? A bunch of Central South Americans, you Republican voters out there, all of you functionally comatose twits that continue for year after year to vote Republican. And then you'll argue with people like us and say, oh, no, it's okay. It's not okay. It's not going to turn out okay. Is that what you want? Do you want to have a Republican running for national office that is Hispanic, Central South American of some degree, that is then telling you and other potential voters, I will do more for the Hispanic community than anybody else has. Is that what you want? Do you want this to be a debate between Democrats and Republicans? Who will do more for non-whites? And have that just in your face, because it's quietly done that way already. Do you want that to just be in your face? Do you want it to be the Democrats do more for the blacks and the Republicans do more for the Hispanics? And the white people are just left alone in the wilderness to vote for anti-whitism or not? Is that what you want? That's what these people are coming in and doing. That's what they've never been conservative. Well, Jason, they're good Catholics, or they're good Mormons, or they're good. Okay, so they go to church, and then they also have record numbers in particular acts that we consider worthy of instantaneous execution. They also seem to be overrepresented in particular acts that happening in our community, we instantly execute for. So what good is it that they're going to church? And I don't really give a shit if they go to church and they pray to the Madonna, or they say their Hail Marys, or they walk around with their rosary while they vote Democrat and vote Democrat and vote Democrat, and the country is lost. I really couldn't care less. And every Catholic, every white Catholic out there has to ask themselves that, and Mormon as well, when it comes to these Central and South Americans coming up from South. So many wonderful people. And I have met wonderful folks. But remember, your based friend from south of the border, Central to South America, is a vote to 20 other votes from Central or South America. So you can love him and he can love you, and you can love the country. He can love the country and serve in the military, and that's all wonderful. He's a wonderful human being. But when you're dealing with democracy, you're dealing with the majority. The based Central and South American Catholics and Mormons. And so I would have nice, big, beautiful signs. This is another thing Jason will do while holding office, is big, beautiful signs all the way across. I don't even need fence. I will put up like chain link fence. Probably I would high enough to prevent, like deer or something like this from running across the minefield. I don't want animals of any sort being killed out there. And where there are migratory routes on the ground, that's fine. We can open those up. And it's very easy to police a animal migratory route. I don't know if there are, where deer or something or wild horses go back and forth. Who knows? Very easy to police that, as opposed to the whole border. So just put up some chain link fence to keep the deer from jumping in, and then mine the shit out of it. Because there's a place on Earth that nobody crosses called the 38th parallel. Everybody wonders, how is it that, you just can't stop people from going across a border? You just can't stop people. The Democrats say it all the time. I'll have you know this. If these people coming across the border were 19-1 voting Republican, the Democrats would build a wall so big, you would see it from the moon. Rest assured, it would be built yesterday. So there is a border that no one crosses, except when they're working as spies and they have the maps and they can know how to zigzag across the minefield. And that's the 38th parallel in Korea. So you don't need big policing. You don't need a giant budget. You don't need giant walls. You can keep all of our money here, reinvest all of those tax dollars in the taxpayers' lives, rather than welfare schemes and et cetera that people squander to death, and all of this receiving of humanity and all of these people. And by the way, the kind of thing the conservatives, content creators and Republican leaders that they would do at this point is they don't care about you white people. They just care about the non-white people coming from Central and South America. I care about everyone. And the primary group that's under attack that no one is defending is Western kind. These are my people. This is my love. This is where I am. But I also care about everyone. It will benefit Central and South Americans to know no need to leave El Salvador. You're not getting across the land mine. If you want to get if you want to get into the United States, you better head on down to wherever, whatever office there is in your country, and apply to become a citizen in the United States, and you can begin the process legally. But I'll tell you what, we're not going to have anybody in. We have too many people unemployed, and the country is in too bad of a shape for founding stock Americans. You're not going to be allowed in. So you're going to have to make El Salvador and these countries better places. And we are happy to serve as the model, Western civilization, for making these places wonderful and as much like Western civilization as possible, so that you want to point your feet right to the soil you are on rather than always to the soil in Western civilization. Because, my friends, that soil, it's not magic. The people are. And you're going to have to do it if you want to see it.